So, good morning, afternoon, or evening, or wherever you're at. And this is another edition of American Made Rock Crawler. And today I have come up to Hiram, Utah to talk to Tim at the V8 Swap Shop. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad you're here.
So, we're going to talk to Tim about a little bit about his history and the V8 Swap Shop. And it should be a great episode. I know that everyone I've talked to, especially when I was having a conversation with Rich, Tim comes very highly recommended in the off-road world if you're looking for a V8 swap, or if you're just looking for a V8 swap in general, or you guys do a lot of other things too, I imagine.
I always tell people we do Jeeps, trucks, hot rods, and well, we have the Mazda RX-7 out front. We put a V8 in.
Nice. Very good. So let's talk about a little bit about you, Tim. Where did you grow up at?
I was born in Los Angeles, but we escaped. I always say before it was a thing. Like this was back when I was little. Crime was getting bad, so we moved to Utah. We had family up there that said it's pretty good here. So, and it was a good place to grow up. Of course, things have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
The opportunity for work to come to Cache Valley presented itself, and we jumped at the opportunity. Off camera, I started to mention to you earlier, we had family that settled, our family actually settled Wilson, Wyoming, just outside of Jackson Hole.
Right.
And as a little kid, we used to, back when you could take 3-week vacations, we'd load the truck and camper in LA and head up to Wilson. And these relatives of ours were just super people, but they had a huge ranch, big south-facing log home with big, beautiful windows and views, as you can imagine, in Jackson Hole area. And it was just heaven on earth. Go stay up there for a few weeks and explore and have fun. And we always stopped. My grandparents would always go, and we always stopped in Logan Canyon at the one of 2 campgrounds there. And we all loved to fish there and camp, and then come down to Logan to go to USU's creamery for Aggie ice cream. And it was just a fun place. And everybody in the family always says, "Man, I wish I could move to Cache Valley." And so when the opportunity for us with work came here, I called my dad. Guess where we're moving? So he was extremely happy for us. But we have 4 kids, and we raised all 4 of them here. They started out, of course, in Salt Lake, but it was a
Right.
good place to raise them up here and get them out of West Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. I know how that is. Like I said, I've been in the Salt Lake Valley for quite a while, and you know, mostly it's family and it's also work opportunities. I think that keep me kind of centralized around there. But if you've never been up to Cache Valley, or if it's beautiful, the drive up here is amazing. I took some pictures outside. I'm going to post along with the episode. Just working in this valley is beautiful. We got some nice snow setting right now. Um, it's it's amazing. So it's just, even the drive up here was just worth the time just to come up here. So
We moved into this location here about a year and a half ago, a little over that, and it's right at the base of the mountain.
yeah,
And we constantly can go outside with our binos and spotting scopes and check out the deer and elk. And they spend a lot of time here in the winter, and it's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I don't know. The closer I got, I kept saying to myself, I'm driving and I keep making trips. I'm like, this has got to be one of the best places to work as far as environment. I mean, really, it's just beautiful. So
Yeah, we enjoy it.
so do you have what's your memories? I mean, as far as off road and stuff like that. What would you say has gotten you into this kind of area industry? I guess.
I have always enjoyed, well, I'll back up even farther. As a kid, my dad and my uncle in California, if you've ever seen American Graffiti or Hollywood Nights,
Uh-huh.
that's their life. I'm not exaggerating one bit. When I hear the stories that these guys talk about, and like my good friend Nathan Riddle from Crawl Zone,
Yes.
we were talking about this on our way down to Winter Jamboree a couple years ago, and I told him I really want to get these guys audio recorded of some of the shenanigans they pulled, because it's crazy the stuff they got away with before we lose both of them. They're both getting up in there in their 80s now, and he said, him being a filmmaker, movie maker, and he said, no, you need to video record this. And yeah, got that in the back of my mind, but it was just, that's the era they grew up in LA in the early 60s. And the car scene, they were buying Model A's for $50 and putting small block Chevys in them and on and
Nice.
on. And so that was the world I grew up in, always going to car shows. My dad still has the car that I remember. he got it when I was 3 years old, and it's a 1933 Buick Victoria. In fact, he had it at the Expo Center last week, for the Salt Lake Off-Road Expo, and a lot of people had commented on it, but that to me was just our family car. I didn't know what
Yeah.
people are always waving at us, and so and he still has it, like I say, and he and my mother travel the western states in it. It's, you know, it's a road car. It's got Chevy drivetrain in it now, of course.
That's awesome.
That was the world I grew up in. My first car was a '57 Chevy two-door Bel Air. My buddy had one. His brother had a '55 two-door Bel Air. Another one had a '58 Impala, and on and on. And our whole gang, we all had, you know, well-built rigs, and they were street rock
Right.
and hung out at the racetrack, and that was kind of our life. State Street, of course, cruising State Street back when it was cool and fun. But, as I got older and got more into deer and elk hunting and stuff, you know, we really got into four-wheel drives, and I've had a number of those '69 to '72 Chevy
Yeah.
Blazers and trucks, and my dad had a Suburban and on, but we started getting into building those, and I always wanted a Jeep. And I go back to our State Street cruising days. Girls did not like our '50s hot rods. They were dumb, let me be clear.
Right.
But, they wouldn't talk to us a whole lot in our hot rods, and so a friend of ours had a CJ5 that he had rolled and did a frame-off restoration on it, and it was gorgeous. It was yellow and black and chrome, and, you know, '80s were the era of chrome, and it was beautiful. He did such a good job. Well, we noticed every time we went up on State Street in that, we had girls talking to us left and right. It was crazy, and so I'm like, "Jeep.
Need a
Yep,
Jeep.
I need a Jeep." But, you know, we were married and started having kids, and Jeep didn't make anything that would fit us all, plus all our gear to go hunting and everything, so we always built Blazers and trucks and Suburbans, and you know, when you start adding lockers and lifts and stuff to Suburbans, it's amazing what they can do, and
Yeah.
so I just it was building square bodies and all this stuff, but, I I took a job at Novak Conversions here in Logan, and, they didn't do any marketing or advertising or anything, and I kept seeing opportunities for things to bring in more revenue and build the company,
Huh?
and after a while, I was running their operations, and so I started doing their marketing and advertising and going to events and getting on trail rides and putting the company out there, and by doing so, I got myself out there without really thinking the future through. I was gonna be there forever, but, things changed there, and I realized, you know, it was time to go out on my own. There's a little more job security.
Yeah.
I think you have a little more control over your destiny is the way I looked at it.
I'm trying to make that journey myself right now. I know the feeling. And that was kind of I think this is probably the official first time I've met you, but your name is familiar with me, and that's where I recognized it from originally was Novak. Um, and I've either seen your work or know of your work through people that I've talked to. And so I was going to ask you, well, the transition from Novak to V8 swap shop and going out on your own, that's good information that I was curious about.
It is really interesting how it came together. Well, you know, going to events as a vendor, you get to meet a lot of people, and it took a year off in between. And, I have a couple good friends in the industry that own their own companies, and I kept getting this text message from one every so often, well, fairly routinely, quite frankly, and he'd say, "When are you gonna make it your Independence Day?" You know, he kept telling me, "You need to get out on your own."
Yeah.
2 of these good friends of mine, were constantly pushing to me, and one, I gotta mention him, he's such a good individual. He and his wife, they own Cardo Tracks, the map making software.
Oh, okay.
They're amazing people. They are just really good people.
I know who you're talking about.
Jade. Wow.
Jake.
Yeah.
Yes, he is a very, very nice guy.
Right. And he's a hardcore Jeeper. But he's a good individual and good human being. He
Yes.
kept telling me about his story and how he decided to go out on his own. And a business owner that he had admired told him, "You don't need to work for me. You need to go out on your own." But this other friend kept texting me that, and it was during COVID. And anyways, it was Sunday, July 4th. I remember it well. And my wife is an angel, and she's my sweetheart and my best friend. And we were sitting on the kitchen table this Sunday afternoon on July 4th, like I said, and COVID, we were stuck in the house because I worked with the gal. I just took a job at the time with another place in town, and she was going through cancer treatment. So her immune system was down.
Uh-huh.
And one of us in the family thought, you know, there's a possibility that we could have had it. So we all felt fine, but the symptoms were there. And so we went and got tested, and you know, you got to wait several days for the results and all. And it was this Sunday afternoon, and I got that text from my friend, and my wife said, "You gonna make this your Independence Day?" And I said, "Are we on board?" And she says, "Absolutely." And so I said, "Hell yeah."
Yeah.
So we never looked back. I started out as a one-man band in Logan. My son, Easton, he's really good at what we do, and he's very well versed in it. He worked with Novak as well, a number of years, in fact, and was a really good salesman. He always helped the customer find out what would work best for them
Yes.
instead of just selling the same thing and just taking the cash and putting it out the door. He'd always do, and he and I are very much aligned like that. When somebody calls me and asks me about what we should do to their Jeep or their truck or their car, what would work best or what they think they like isn't always what would work best. And so I always ask a lot of lifestyle questions. How do you use it? How do you want it to perform? What do you want out of it? All these things, and then I can make an accurate recommendation. And he's always done that as well.
Right.
And so it just it helps the customer be more happy with the end product.
Yeah, because I would say even myself, um, be coming from somebody who, as much as I know how to work on a lot of things and do a lot of things, because swapping a V8 in, like, if I was gonna do a V8 swap, my knowledge level on that area is lacking so much that even though I know a lot of things I've researched maybe online or read about, like, I think when people do those type of conversions, sometimes they just go with what they think is going to they want because they read it online somewhere. Like, this is what I should get because it was online and it looks cool, or
Yeah.
it's got all this horsepower, but it may not be the most efficient thing for what they're actually trying to do.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and you can find people in Facebook groups that will tell you they did their swap for $2,000.
Yes.
And I guarantee you it's not done clean and it's not done well. Shows you for it. Yeah. And what's the Tim? Thank you.
That's good. We can just cut it out. It's easy.
In the lobby.
Yes.
I was gonna
Or I just leave stuff in that sometimes because, to be honest with you,
be real.
people don't mind real stuff, and I'm not quite at the Hollywood level of production, as you notice. But hey,
Gotta do business,
some
right?
of the best responses I got from the first episode we put out was between me and my wife, just laughing and
That's
talking
great.
because it's real.
It is.
People can identify with it.
Absolutely.
So,
Real life.
all right. So we were talking about V8 swaps. Yeah. So people, they don't they don't always know what is actually really going to work best for their vehicle. They just, a lot of people will just be, oh, I read this online and this looks cool. And
Yeah.
so this is what I want.
They're subject to what they hear from other people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? 2 things I had to say in response to that. I had this discussion with a customer on the phone not too long ago, and it occurred to me that going all the way back into high school, building my '57 Chevy,
Hmm.
it was always important to me that my engine bay was clean and neat and orderly. Wires were loomed and ran cleanly,
Yeah.
and some of my friends' engine bays look like butts. Quite
Or a rat's nest of wires.
yeah, and so as I was talking to him about the level of quality that I don't let somebody leave out the door until it's perfect. And that occurred to me that just has been my staple going all the way back to high school. So clean, organized engine bays they look good, but they're more reliable.
Yeah.
And they're easier to work on later if you ever need to as
Yeah.
well. So going back to that, it's just hugely important to us and it's reputation. Reputation is earned in this industry.
Yeah. I think so. Coming from the industry I've been in my whole career, mostly Excel now. Um, the one of the things that we say in the culinary world is mise en place. And when I tell chefs to work under me, I need you to organize your mise en place, get your mise en place together. That means every mise en place in French means everything is in its place. So mise en place is, so when you're working the culinary, it's your equipment, your towels, your knives, your food, everything's in production, everything's labeled, everything's organized. And what I will say is that it doesn't matter what profession you're in, mise en place translates.
Yep.
People that have good mise en place, or their work area, the stuff the product they produce, when they're organized, detailed, and clean and stuff like that, that to me is a sign of a professional, somebody that's good at what they do. Not just good, but really good at what they do. because those are fundamentals, and either you have fundamentals or you don't.
Yeah, even my toolbox is extremely organized. Everything has a home because you're on the clock. You need to be able to find everything fast.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So, um, what what are your current projects you're working on right now?
We're in the final stages. The next one out the door is it's 2014 JKU. It's on Super Duties and 40s, and obviously it was underpowered.
Yes.
And so the engine we're doing is a recent release from GM. It's been out for those in the industry, they know, but probably 5, 6 years now.
Uh-huh.
And their RPO code for it is L8T. It's a gas engine, but it's a 6.6 liter. If you say 6.6 liter, some people think it's a diesel. But it's a gas engine. We're putting a Whipple supercharger on it. We put a bigger cam in it, and I think after we do a custom tune, it'll be right around 750 horse.
Nice.
Yeah, that engine with that Whipple claimed was 695 foot-pounds of torque, and so based on the size of the cam and custom tuning, I'm thinking we'll be somewhere right in that vicinity. But and then the 6L90 behind it, of course, we didn't want anything to do with the 8 or 10 speeds. They're notorious for problems, and this is an insurance buyout. Um, I've been buying powertrains, between here and Novak for probably 15 years now, and
Yes.
so I have a lot of contacts around the nation that I've come to know and trust and train, quite frankly. Because when I started doing it, it wasn't as big of a thing, and they didn't know how to pull them, and I would have to teach them what I needed and what to not cut and
Uh-huh.
what to include and all that. But this one had 3 miles on it. And because of the power level, we had to completely build the transmission to handle this. So put a lot of money back into a transmission that's brand new, just
Right.
again, because it needs to be reliable when it leaves there. I want people to enjoy them for years with
Absolutely.
only doing maintenance. And then of course it's got an Atlas behind that.
Yes.
And we're getting to the final stages there. So that one's gonna be fun. We're also doing the instrument cluster and entertainment center. Is a company called Carabata
I've heard of them.
out of Canada. Yeah, it's a whole LED screen, and
Yeah.
all integrated with cameras exterior, and you can upload um, your Jeep image on it, and see, and then you can change the background to snow or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's kind of a cool G whiz thing.
I had a buddy who installed one in his, and he doesn't have the Jeep anymore. But when he did, I got to see it on a event we went to together. That looked pretty cool. So
Very cool. Yeah, we're also, in fact, right now I've got Easton, my son, out there is installing the SwitchWorks system. We did that on somebody's Jeep last year, an LJ, and really loved it.
yeah,
It's a cool system. There's other companies out there that makes those switch
sure.
panels, but this one, what we liked about it was each little button is its own LED screen, and you can upload. We could upload. In fact, we're probably going to upload our image on there for party mode to turn on like all lights and stuff.
Nice.
But you can change each screen to whatever image you want it to be and organize it how you want it to be, and it's just a
Wow.
really cool system. So we're a dealer for them now because we really liked it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're big in the side by side world, and we just like the functionality, quite frankly.
Yeah, and there's so many companies out there doing it. There's a lot of ones that are just
Yeah,
it's another switch system.
yeah, yeah.
So it seemed like everybody was putting them out for a while. Let me ask you this. Um, this one's kind of personally tied because I like manual transmissions. How do you feel about manual transmissions versus the automatic transmissions? Everybody's driving autos these days,
Yeah.
which is great.
I like them both, and I like them both for different reasons. My old '67 Jeepster Commando, um, I've got all the stuff for a full build for it. It's going to be an LS swap. It's going to have Super Duty axles. I'm putting it on a JK frame. I've got all those major components. I just trying to work on my own stuff right now.
Right.
But currently, we did a T18 conversion in it,
Uh-huh.
and the low gear set in the Dana 20 as well. And well, when we did that, it's been about a year and a half, a little bit more than a year and a half ago. Um, we did a hydraulic clutch assembly with it as well, and it is butter smooth. Like compared to the old linkage systems that are so clunky with the Z bars that operate another Z bar and linkages that connect them on.
Yes.
This is just smooth, and it's so much easier to drive to keep the grandkids or kids on, and if you're off road, it's really easy to feather that and just like you could do with an automatic, you can load that torque converter and
Yep.
foot it, and that's actually what I'm going to go to when I build it permanently.
Nice.
Um, I I like some of the aspects of an automatic. I want my wife to be able to drive it and enjoy it. But, right now, I'm really just enjoying this TAA conversion, and it was good R&D for us so that we can recommend it to other people, and we know what components work together and all that.
Well, when I end up V8 swapping my JK, you're gonna have to help me find the manual transmission that works with it.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
I have that's I have that's the one that comes in it now, and don't get me wrong. I've done everything I think I can do to it to make it do what it needs to do, and it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the strongest transmission, and it has some quirks about it that do drive me crazy a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Well, we did an '09 JK a couple years back, LS swapped it, Gen
Mhm.
4 6-liter. We're a Tremec dealer as well, so we did the Tremec TR4050.
So I was eyeballing that exact transmission, and I was thinking, you know what? This one might be. It's got that super low first gear, and
And an overdrive.
it's only I think it's a 5 speed, right?
Yeah.
But that when I was looking at the gear ratios and for what you're doing, I don't think you need. I don't remember the last time I used 6 gear in that thing.
Yeah. The one that we did had a bone stock, super low mile Gen 4 6-liter.
Hmm.
Everybody in the industry knows it as the L96. And that gear spread is perfectly fine for it. It
Yeah.
works awesome. Now, the thing you gotta remember is determine your transfer case because this gentleman wanted to stick with a manual transmission that I had previously,
Uh,
also had to have an Atlas. And the combination of those two, since it's a cable shifted transfer case, those cables come right out into the back of the transmission. So we had to do the 4-speed version, get that range box on there,
uh-huh.
and then a clocking ring to clock it down a little bit. And it moved those cables just enough over that you sneak by the side of that transmission.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I already have an Atlas, so
Bingo. Yeah, it worked like a dream. And it has so many gear choices now.
yeah. That's my dream. That's my dream. So
Yeah,
one day I'm gonna have to call you and you help me figure it out.
happily. Mhm.
um, what would you say like what's been you like probably your personal favorite build that you've done? Maybe that can be recently or it can be something old. If I
Oh,
was to ask you.
man, they all have such fun aspects of 'em. We did a square body Suburban last year that's coming back shortly. In fact, we have tires and wheels in the office area for it here now. 91 last year, the square bodies.
Mhm.
We did a mildly built 6-liter Gen 3, so it had a cam and flat top pistons, basically an LQ9 with a cam. And it was on 35-inch tires, a 6-inch lift, factory setup. And when we were tuning it, the last data log just to make sure everything looked good. We don't have a dyno yet, and so we're just doing it on the street. And you know where you came up here through that intersection where McDonald's is?
Huh?
That little S turn to the first street. I nailed it and was doing 96 miles an hour by the time I got to that first turn. And the Suburban. It was and the guy loves it so much. So now we've got a Dana 60 kingpin front and a Corporate 14 bolt rear, and the parts are rolling in to do lockers front and rear and gears and
Awesome.
super lift and then these tires and wheels. And so yeah,
That's great.
it's not a Jeep, but I had Suburbans for a lot of years, and I even had
Yep.
one that body style for a lot of years.
Yes.
And that is such a blast to drive. That's right up there. But we've done old Jeeps, new Jeeps, and everything in between. And I gotta think, having not driven this JK, this one's gonna be right there at the top. Because if it's gonna be over 700 horsepower, it's gonna be an absolute blast.
Nice. Um, so future of the V8 swap shop. Planning on staying in this location, I would imagine, and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful place, a good place to do business. Um, anything new coming up, or you just more of the same? I mean, I would imagine the business is building nice for what you're wanting it to do.
Yeah, thankfully it is. And the schedule is packed. I feel bad because I'm having to tell people that I don't know exactly how long it's gonna be before I can see you, but I know it's at least a year. Because and the reason I can't nail it down any better is because every build that comes in the door changes as soon as it comes in the door.
Yeah.
"Hey, while you've got it," is the favorite saying, and I don't mind, I like it, I just feel bad it takes longer, but, while you got it, let's do axles, let's do
Right.
suspension, let's do which is great.
And you're not like doing you're not it's not like you're a Jiffy Lube changing oil here,
Yeah.
you know? Sometimes stuff comes up.
Literally everything we do is custom work.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who's ever worked for a shop or is a guru that works in their garage on their own stuff knows that stuff happens, and so
Well,
I would imagine so.
regular shops don't know how to quote what we do. They just flat out refuse it.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing I was going to mention earlier and I forgot is what few other shops around do what we do generally only do one thing, an LS3, for example.
Yeah.
I even had somebody at the Salt Lake Off Road Expo last week say exactly that to me. These guys told me it's going to be $50,000. They'd only do an LS3 was my only choice. We are so well versed at the whole LS and LT platforms that that's
Yeah.
the majority of what we do. We'll do Hemis or whatever anybody wants, but we know how to mix and match and build and customize and what works together and what doesn't. But we'll do whatever you want. We'll do new, used, rebuilt, and
There you go. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to have an LS. I know that I have some people out there that are fans of other engines. So,
yeah.
um, I myself am a fan of LS, but that's okay. I know that a lot of people, some people, I mean, a lot of people I know in the Jeep world are particular with Hemis, or I've even heard some people messing with Coyote engines and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You
Yep.
know, so any V8 you want, you can get it here at the V8 swap shop. That's great. Um, so you talked about it's going to be a while. If somebody wants to make a reservation and get their name on the list, what do they need to do?
We do I learned early on about how to do this, by the way. We do a $500 non-refundable deposit, and I say just keep the schedule honest. If somebody's got some buy-in, they're less likely to disappear and not tell you.
Yeah,
We have them pay for parts up front, so it lessens our liability. And we start stockpiling in advance, you know, to help things flow better. But yeah, phone, email, we're good with whatever, and it's fun to talk to people and help them figure out what's going to work best for them. And the best part is watching the smile on their face when they drive it the first time.
yeah.
It's priceless.
Well, and to me, having the schedule out can be a positive. I mean, having time to plan it out and get everything together and get the parts like you're talking, and you know,
Well, yeah, it's not cheap. You know, it's not a five or $10,000 project, but
yeah,
a lot of guys will say, "Oh, that's okay. I got to start saving money." You know,
yeah, exactly.
it works.
Very good. Okay, I have some uh I have some quick questions I'm asking everybody just to have some fun with the interview. So I'm gonna ask you questions. You can come with first comes to mind. They're either yes or no or something. What's your favorite tire?
Oh man, you gotta love a swamper and a trip.
There you go.
Trips are awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it. Favorite locker?
Um, uh, it depends. As a business owner for return business, selectable seem to need more maintenance down the road.
For you,
Yeah.
personal.
I like a selectable in the rear, just for around town driving. I've put a couple Lockrights in this old CJ narrow track axles I got under my Commando right now, and they've been flawless. They're just the Lockrite, the power track,
Nice.
and they've been flawless. We're getting ready on these axles going into that Suburban I mentioned. We're going to do a Detroit and an Eaton knee upper,
Okay,
and I think those are going to work out pretty good.
nice. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Hell yeah! I love pineapple.
That's 3-1 so far, I think.
No anchovies. Yes, pineapple.
Whiskey or beer?
Neither.
Okay, me neither. I used to drink all the time when I was younger, and I'm sober and I don't drink anymore. I don't mind if people drink, but they don't. So,
Yeah, same here. Nah, I like a good
favorite non-alcoholic beverage then?
ice cold Coke. But you know, that Dole Whip,
Uh-huh.
like Disneyland does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, if you are going to an event, camping or hotel?
Oh, we've done both. I kind of like the Airbnb we had at the Winter Jamboree this time.
Nice.
That was plush.
See, I'm kind of a 50-50 because I have an RV. So it's like it's kind of like camping, but it's kind of like not.
Well, we're not hoity-toity or whatever you want to say. I have a 24-foot enclosed trailer that we put LED lights inside now, and it's kind of like a pit crew truck, a trailer. I mean, and we use it for hunting as well.
Nice.
It's a flat deck all the way out back. We pull the Jeep and the gear out, and we put our cots up, and we sleep like 6 of us in there. Couple out late.
For years, when we used to go camping, I mean, I used to have like this small tent and then this little cabin tent because my wife wanted something a little more. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, we had a windstorm come through at EJS and it destroyed our cabin tent. We threw it away. And when we left, my wife told me this is the last time. And by Trail Hero, I had a 38-foot RV.
There you go.
Now it's an older model. I'm not rich, but I have to work on it to keep it going.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a different world. It's a lot of fun though.
Very good.
Okay, I asked you that. Favorite thing to do outside of working on vehicles and or off-road or anything around that the automotive world?
I loved elk and deer hunting, and it's all family centered. You know, my kids, my dad, my brothers, everybody. We all loved elk and deer hunt. Whether it's on the north slope of the Uintas or the south slope, we always seem to end up back out there at some point. Around here is too crowded. It's
Sure.
too easily accessed, and quite honestly, it involves four wheeling because to get to the areas where less people can go, we use our
Yeah,
jeeps. So
very good.
yeah,
Um, Favorite transmission. If you were building if it was for you personally, what would be your transmission of choice?
again, it comes down to manual versus automatic. I love that T18, man.
Okay.
It's just smooth, easy to drive, and I love the more I wheel off road in it, the more I like it. But I do like a 4L80 for convenience,
Yeah.
strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, for you personally, personal vehicle, V8 of choice.
You know, you've got old big blocks, and you've got LSs. I like the Gen 3 LSs for their simplicity and reliability.
Hmm.
The new stuff does some cool stuff too, but I kind of like a built 6 liter Gen 3. But I would tell you that I built a 454 that I had in an old square body Blazer. That thing built torque like a diesel. I gotta think I'll build another big block at some point that'll have a ton of torque and fuel injection.
Very
That
good.
would have made that engine perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. If you are going to start a new build for yourself, if you're going to build a new project vehicle, or maybe you already have and you're working on it, what platform or vehicle would you use? It could be anything from a tube chassis to a Jeep to a square body, anything.
I'm still so looking forward to building my Jeepster.
There you go.
It's got 60-year-old patina on it,
Yeah.
and I chose that intentionally. I've been trying to decide for years what platform I wanted to use, and I love that funky body style, the slant back and
Yeah.
the batwing grill, and I just love that that whole setup. And that's it. I mean, I've got my dream build.
Running in the weeds later, and here we go. That was the easy answer. That.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Well, thank you for having me up. I really appreciate it. I think he got a really great business here. If somebody wants to get in touch with VH Drop, what's the easiest way?
We're at v8swapshop.biz.com was taken. And you can leave us a message on there. You can just contact us through either text or phone call at area code 435-760-7138. And we're on, Facebook and Instagram as well. You can DM us there. So we're pretty reachable.
Yes. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
If you want to see another episode of American Made Rock Crawler, it's going to be on YouTube in the future. We're looking at getting on maybe Spotify or Apple so you can listen to the interview if you don't have time to watch it. But don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment. Everybody that comments on these videos, I'm taking the time to come and respond to you personally. So if you have something to say, I want to hear about it. If you have feedback, I want to hear about it. Or if you have a question we didn't get to, I can send an email to whoever I talk to and maybe we can get it posted. So make sure to let me know if you have some comments and smash that notification bell.
Hashtag VAG.